it's day one of producing a TV series drama. Today we're just trialling our directors. I am sound/DOP for Hunter's group. Hunter is our director, and we're just kind of going around the uni filming, seeing how it goes so that we can get ready for producing tomorrow, which will be exciting. Looking forward to it.
Oh, I think that goes from the offset when the writing workshop, when you start putting down ideas for the various things, that allows the students to get the initial ideas and develop them into a story, into a decent narrative. And then when you start storyboarding, shot listing, then that's where all the creative part comes in. When you decide how you're going to light it, how you're going to shoot it. These are parts of the creative process that you learn. And it is all about learning. I mean, we don't expect perfection because that would be impossible, but it's about the learning. It's about how you come to grips. Also, you find that certain students will suddenly discover that there's things about themselves that they weren't aware they were capable of.
The biggest challenge in Twin, I think, is our storyline was very simplistic, which allowed us to have a lot of flexibility in camera shots. So what we did is the team all came together and tried to kind of focus on creative shots and how we can stylise the whole kind of theme around the piece, I guess. When doing it.
Okay, Sam, ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. 3. Are we rolling?
Rolling.
Yeah, let's roll. 3, 2, 1, action.
I became director of photography quite late on Twin, so I had my own vision of how I wanted it to look, which was quite different to originally what Billy's was. We had a lot of fun on set.
Yeah.
We DJ'd, we drank shots, we partied behind the bar, we partied indoors, we went to a church.
Incriminating stuff.
But really, we had a lot of fun on set, but was it balancing? How we balance fun and getting the perfect shots? We actually did very well doing that.
I think we were allowed to kind of mess around to a degree, but we all seemed to kind of have that point where we just went, okay, let's be serious now, and then we just do all the shots, and then there'd be a break where, I don't know, we're waiting for makeup, or we're waiting for an actor to arrive or something like that, and we just have some free time to just mess around. And I feel like that's where we did get a lot closer as a group, because before, and the first couple of days as well, it was a bit awkward with some of the members of the crew who we hadn't spoken to before. But by the end, everyone knew who everyone was in the crew. All of the actors would kind of join in with the occasional joke around, stuff like that. So it was, I think by the end we did manage to kind of have a really fun environment, but also working really well at the same time.
We had a very good producer on set as well that kept us in line.
Oh yeah.
And AD as well.
And AD.
And I think if you don't think we had fun, just look at the clip of Doodoo behind the decks.
In our pilot episode, I think we've left it on a really big cliffhanger for the audience, and with the storyline and kind of it allows for lots of episodes to go on. It's really interesting because we can definitely explore the themes of Valerie and her transforming into her sister Poppy, and it also poses the question is, what is Valerie going to do when someone finds out, and how can she keep it a secret before anyone notices?
To produce a drama in a certain amount of time, which a professional group would be doing the same, a professional company would be doing the same thing. But you are assessed really by your peers in terms of your commitment to the projects, and that's really another pointer for you, so that when you start next year, when you do your documentaries, and you know then the sort of person that you want working with you, because they're the ones that put the effort in.
I don't really have, so far I haven't really found out what my sort of style is in terms of how I want to visualize something. It just happens. I just sit there, I think, and pictures just pop into mind, and I think of different angles that I want to try, and, you know, it is a bit of a problem because you think about this so heavily, like, yes, I want to do this, it's going to work out perfectly, but then you get there and you start realizing, this may not actually work out the way I was expecting it to, and you just got to keep improvising and moving on. So in terms of visualizing this, it's more of a cut and go sort of thing, where I can see how I'd want it, but then when I actually get there and we start seeing how we're going, then it's a matter of just getting it done in a way that makes it look good, but you know, we get our job done in the end.
My favourite scene to write from the Nobody's Nothing was probably the scene when Jerry wakes up, but he doesn't notice the body and he walks home in the rain, and it's really, I try to capture like a dreamy sense and carry on the theme of water, and it feels quite fuzzy, I think, the scene. The script's been changed quite a lot just to accommodate practicality. It was also quite short, my script. It was only like 7 pages, so that scene is a little bit different to how I wrote it, but hopefully it still captures that dreamy nature.
Well, and so Antonio wrote it, and it was just really difficult to try and get the emotion across between the grief of the two sisters. And so our actors definitely were a big help because they were really going through their roles and they expressed themselves really well. Other than that, yeah, I guess it's just making sure that the actors know when to express like completely.
I definitely found it was a lot easier to write with someone, because when you've got two mindsets that work differently, you can create different scenarios. You can see which scenes work together and which ones definitely don't work together. Especially since this is one of my first writing experiences professionally, I think working together collaboratively, it worked more productive, I think.
Yeah, no, I would agree as well. I think that a collaborative writing process was quite interesting because, again, it's not really something that we've both done a lot of, so I think that because we're both quite inexperienced, that it was good to have each other to help. And I thought it was pretty interesting because we knew what the story was, but we said let's go off and write it in 2 different ways, and we ended up having characters with the same names, but we didn't even agree on that. So no, yeah, I think it's really interesting just to have someone there to
we even had when we wrote our scenes, we both had different ideas of how dramatic, or the scale of the dramatic it would get. Like you had yours more violent, where mine was more like a comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, we managed to make it work, I think.
No, yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's definitely a really it's much better, I think, when you do it collaboratively, because you get 2 writers' voices and you combine them, and yeah, I hope that the end result is worth it. I want to write an episode 2, you know, and I can only really see it realistically with how it's ended. I can only really see it being a 2-parter. I wouldn't really want to give away the ending, but I would say that, you know, we've already got 2 characters that their lives are at stake now. And you've also got now the added, particularly with Anna, you know, she's pregnant, so there's still so much more for us to explore in that avenue. So it would definitely, the next episode would probably explore, you know, what happens around that, you know, because it's a cliffhanger ending. So yeah, I would say that there's still quite a bit of drama to unfold.
All students are expected to behave like a professional. This is part of the learning outcome, is that you should be punctual, you should do your role within its title, and to communicate within that team to achieve the programme.
I had to go over to this restaurant we shot at. I had to talk to the manager, kind of like persuade him and all that stuff. So it was kind of challenging talking to people, because I have to talk to people. I'm not usually like a fun person, so like having to actually go out my way to talk to managers and people like that of such power, it kind of was challenging, but I got through it.
Zoom out a bit more. More.
It's Danielle Hansen.
Is that how she looks? Becky looks. As soon as they walked in, we were like, these are our characters. These are our characters for Samsara. They looked the part. And it just naturally happened that on set they got on really well, and nothing was really awkward between them at all.
One of the advantages of writing and directing the same project is that I learnt more about how to avoid doing certain mistakes while writing, because like while you're writing you don't really realize how is it going to be directed on TV, and so I was able to be there and see where I did wrong and find like creative solutions for it at that point. But I think for disadvantages of it would be that I couldn't do someone else's work. So like I really wanted to see how is it going to work out for me as a director and put my own vision for someone else's story, but I wasn't able to do that. So we were thinking that if the production turned out pretty good, we might have another episode of it, because I already got the ideas in my mind and I can write it down. And the whole group is pretty happy with each other. We worked out really good together. So we're just gonna wait and see if it's an actual good production, see the feedback of people, and then we'll figure out what to do next.
I want to tell my crew that you guys have worked hard. You guys have worked so well, waking up by 5, leaving set by 12, in literally midnight. You guys have done so well, and I'm so proud of you lot. I'm proud of Samsara too.
I love you guys. You guys are the best team to work with, my best friends, and just couldn't do without you. So I love you guys.
I also want to say, shout out to the doc team.
Shout out to Doc.
Worked so hard, kind of came on our set really politely, you know, got their shots, created this beautiful documentary that you're now watching, and it's just thank you so much to the incredible doc team.
Some people discriminate against the Doc team.
Yeah.
Not us.
I can't imagine why.
We love the doc team.